Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back doing another 8-4 Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar draft. What have we got this time? Okay, don't like our rare. Roiling Waters is a good card. I don't like first picking 7 drops. I think I'm looking at the Envoy for first pick. I like it more than a random Path Warden, Free Runner, Sky Scourer, whatever. Envoy's been good to me this format, so feels like a pretty okay. It's not a great first pick. I mean, I guess it's good in the sense that it works in any black deck. Envoy's always going to be good, regardless of whether you have a dedicated ally deck or not. It's always a good card, but it's not the best first pick. But there's just nothing else in here. I think that's as good. Like, Path Warden is a great card, but I don't like. I mean, I don't like first picking a Path Warden either. I think first picking an Envoy is better. All right. Well, Work Lyric's a good follow-up pick because Black-White is so good, but I think Isolation Zone would be even better. Stoneforge Masterwork I could take. Also works well with allies. It does work really well with Black-White allies. So, it's kind of a tough pick. I feel like it's probably just Isolation Zone because just some of the best removal in the format. Work Lyric is more of a synergistic pick. It's also a great card. And Masterwork is a little more speculative but has potential upside. I think we're just taking the Isolation Zone. This is an 8-4. Let's just take the sort of... It kind of sucks that we're passing a Work Lyric, but if we took the Work Lyric, it would suck that we're passing an Isolation Zone. Basically, it's just there's 2 really good white cards in here. Okay, Envoy number 2, I'm okay with. There is a Boulder Salvo, which is good. I like Envoy a lot, though. The strongest card in the pack is probably the Salvo. I could just take it. Lagak's really good, too. Kind of okay with Envoy, though. I'm usually pretty happy with Envoy. I'm trying to think how much better Boulder Salvo is than Envoy. It's kind of tough for me to calculate. Like, if I end up in black-white, I'm really going to want this Envoy. If I don't end up making black work, it'll be nice to have a Salvo if I end up in red. I'm going to take the Envoy. I'm feeling it. Okay. So there's a Slaughter Drone, Tar Snare, Birthing Hulk. Hedron Crawler, which is good. Could take the Crawler. Strongest card in the pack. I'm actually not sure on that. Nothing too crazy good. I could take the Slaughter Drone here. I probably want the Tar Snare instead. I'm not 100% on that, actually. Removal versus... Slaughter Drone versus Tar Snare here. I don't know. I'm going to take the Tar Snare. Well, there's a Chain Mage. 5th pick, Prophet of Distortion. There's some good blue cards in here. Chain Mage is going to work really great with our Envoys. Could still end up in, like, blue-black. Envoy and Chain Mage are just excellent. Excellent cards for each other, though. Envoy gets to block down. Chain Mage gets to gain you life while making your opponent lose life. Kind of a match made in heaven. Prophet of Distortion is an excellent card. We only have 1 white card now, which means we could still end up in blue. I mean, these are some late blue cards that could be the sign we're looking for. The problem is Chain Mage works so well with the Envoys. I'm going to take the Chain Mage. I think we're still going to end up in blue, but I want that Chain Mage. All right, well, now we've got a 6th pick Reality Hemorrhage, which is pretty interesting. Kind of want that. I think it's the best card remaining here. There is a Negator, which is okay. Actually works okay with Chain Mage, but I think we're going to take the Reality Hemorrhage. Could also end in red. I've played red-black allies before. I actually think that's a fine deck, too. Okay, well, Holdout Settlement actually has good synergy with Vampire Envoy. People forget. There is Alpha Protector, which keeps in line with the Isolation Zone, but we haven't seen a ton of white. There's not a ton of strong cards remaining in here. Holdout Settlement is basically just potential splash. There's no red cards in here. Alpha Protector's not a terribly exciting card, though. I'm going to take the Holdout Settlement. Could end up splashing something. So now there's an Unknown Shores, Lead by Example, Chitinous Cloak, Zendikar Resurgent. Well, we want to be black, right? We tried to carve our way into black. I think we probably successfully did that. Isolation Zone's clearly better than Reality Hemorrhage, but not sure white's going to be able to happen. Lead by Example's got to be the best card remaining here, right? Works well with the Envoys. I think we're going to take the Lead by Examples. I think Zendikar Resurgent's okay. I'm not in love with the card. Lead by Example is actually a pretty legitimate combat trick. Well, we table the Searing Light. I actually like Searing Light. I think it's the best card remaining here, so it's funny that Void Shatter is just like almost probably pretty close to strictly better in this format than Overwhelming Denial. Well, now we're getting like Step Glider. That's interesting. Step Glider's a good card, especially if we end up with like a Shoulder to Shoulder or an Expedition Raptor. Probably just want this. Translator's okay too, but we're going to take the Step Glider. It's a late summoner. It's better than these two white cards. All right, I'm getting late green too. Red looks like it's getting cut. White is getting cut, but could take the Tranquil Expanse here too. There's still a chance we end up in green-black, maybe. Tranquil Expanse would let us splash for green. Neither of these cards are worth splashing. I'm going to take the Stalking Drone. It's a pretty late drone. All right, well, we're off to an interesting start, to say the least. But we'll keep all the cards up here for now. So basically, we want to be in black, right? We were trying to carve our way into there. It feels, I mean, we're likely competing in every color. I don't think we're going to end up red. Deep Fathom Skulker is a good reason to be in blue, but only having two blue cards makes that a less attractive pick. Expedition Raptor versus Shoulder to Shoulder. There's also Path Warden and another Chain Mage. Kind of want the Raptor over the Shoulder to Shoulder, I think. I like to get a body as well as I mean, even if you took out all the non-black, non-white cards, we still ended up with 7 playable black and white cards. So, not the worst start to a black-white deck. I know people are bored of black-white, but I don't know what to tell you. It's just so easy to make a deck in those colors. I could splash for Deep Fathom Skulker. I actually don't think that's out of the line of... I think this card is just tremendously powerful. And you can easily splash it off a Holdout Settlement. Otherwise, it's just Raptor for synergy's sake. I'm going to take the Skulker against possibly my better judgment. We'll find out. So, a second Tar Snare. No white card in here. No real blue card I care about either, though. Probably just take a second Tar Snare. Not a super exciting pick. I mean, I could still go down the blue path, but even a second pick Negator is not a super exciting pick either. Could take the Unknown Shores. Colorless mat currently only matters for Deep Fathom Skulker. Tar Snare's okay. I guess we'll take the Tar Snare. I don't love it. So, could take the Shoulder to Shoulder, Dwar Isle Avenger, Kozilek Shrieker. So, Shoulder to Shoulder has good synergy with Step Glider and Envoys. Don't have a ton of cheap creatures yet, though. Shrieker is good if you have colorless mana, which we don't have a ton of. Don't really want to take a Waste. Don't really want to take an Avenger either. I think we're going to take the Shoulder to Shoulder and hope that works out okay for us. It's just, I could take the Shrieker in black. Shrieker seems okay to me if we end up in... Like, we want to be in black. Probably want to be in white too, I guess. I mean, the thing is, our white cards are pretty good. Wow. A couple Eldrazi Mimics. I'm just going to check the foil one. I doubt it's worth anything, but... Always nice to check. Nope. It's worth about a ticket. Alright, Flaying Tendrils actually seems pretty good. Otherwise, Slaughter Drone, Reflector Mage for splash. We are splashing a Deep Fathom Skulker. Theoretically, you could splash a Reflector Mage too. Otherwise, Slaughter Drone is like... We have a Holdout Settlement. There's also Wastes in here. We have a Shoulder to Shoulder. We probably want the cheaper creature. Maybe we wheel the Reflector Mage, although this pack's not super deep. I think we're going to take Death Touch, dude. Holdout Settlement number 2, more splashing potential. There's McKindy Aeronaut, though, which is pretty excellent. There's also Oath of Gideon, which works well with Cohort. I still think I'd rather have the Aeronaut. It's going to set us up better for Shoulder to Shoulder. All right, take the Aeronaut. Searing Light number 2. I think we can take a first Unnatural Endurance over that. Scythe Master's fine. There's also a Waste. Let's just, let's move these. Still going to make the Deep Fathom Skulker work, I think, because it's a strong card. So Scythe Master for, we only have one Cohort card. Make a Stand, pretty decent combat trick, but we're looking for more creatures. I think Scythe Master is probably a little bit more in line with what we're looking for. Another shot at Holdout Settlement. Also could play Baloth Null, splash it off a Holdout Settlement. Baloth Null is very strong. Might just take a second Holdout Settlement, though. For Slaughter Drone and Deep Fathom Skulker. And then we're probably pretty much fine on colorless mana. Got the Raptor back, which is pretty awesome news. I think I'm going to take the Raptor over the Chain Mage. Chain Mage works better with Aeronaut, Envoys, Scythe Master. I think Raptor is going to work better with our Step Glider, Shoulder to Shoulder plan. Probably, we're not really ally. Well, we could be, but I think one Chain Mage should do. I like Raptor a little bit more in here. Guess we're not going to play any of these. Could hate it, Tears of Valakut. We have I guess we have enough flyers where it could be annoying. I don't think it's that great of a sideboard card against us, but whatever. We can take the Waste. Probably won't need it now, but don't need any of these other cards. Take the Reflection in case we need it. Cut the black card. Whatever. Okay. So, this deck needs a little bit of work. Probably want to lower the curve a little bit, if possible. Well, we have a Castigator, which maybe lets us beat down. Ghostly Sentinel, which flies. Entangler, which works well with our allies. We don't really look like a beatdown deck, but we want some setup for our shoulder-to-shoulder and Raptor. Still kind of want the Entangler. What's our ally count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 allies. Could take the Ghostly Sentinel instead. First picking a Castigator is not my favorite. Because like I said, we're not super beat down, but we could be. Maybe it's our best bet to go more the aggressive route. Problem is Envoy is not very aggressive. And that is a problem. And Aeronaut's not very aggressive. We also don't look like we buy time particularly well, though, which does make me kind of want to take the Castigator. I think we're going to just try and lower the curve of this deck a little bit and get more aggressive. Shadow Glider's fine. Courier Griffin's fine too. Healer's probably in line with what we're looking for. We probably have enough allies to support that. Could find some more. Alright, we'll take the healer. Up our ally count, ideally. Cub's not great. We could splash Dampening Pulse. I mean, we're already splashing Skulker. I don't hate splashing Dampening Pulse. It's a strong card. I don't really think we're a Skitterskin deck. Dampening Pulse, not super beat down, but I don't really want a Cub either. I might have to take the Cub. Dampening Pulse is a strong card, definitely. I'm going to take the Pulse. I'm just going to speculate that even if we don't end up super beat down, Pulse is going to do some work for us. Malice seems like the right pick here. It's just always good. I love this card. Good old creature spell. Rampart, Sludge Crawler, Nullifier. Probably want the Sludge Crawler. It's a good mana sink. Good thing to support on too. Alright. Okay, Lookout's an ally. Fertile Thicket helps us, well, finds waste, but I don't even think we're playing waste. We've got double holdout settlement. I think we're good. I think we actually want the Lookout. Get some more creatures. We have like 13 creatures. It's also an ally. Alright. Second Lookout. Probably more in love with a second Myers Mouse, to be honest. Could take the Bone Splinters. What's our removal looking like? Not great. I think we're going to take a second Myers Mouse. I mean, this card can really shift a board, shift a game. Silent Skimmer seems fine. Second Nullifier. I think let's keep our splash as low as possible. I don't think I'm going to play Charge. Skimmer seems fine. I'm trying to think if we're an 18 land deck. I feel like we probably are an 18 land deck if we're playing 3 color with double holdout settlement. We can ditch the wastes. So, first cut. I don't know. Take the Skimmer though. Alright, Sentinel's a fine pickup. I like it more than Dominator Drone. Gruesome Slaughter. Well, I'm probably more scared of a Predator, to be honest. I'm not going to play Grave Birthing, I don't think so. We'll hate like a... I don't really care. Brute Hunter Worm, I guess. Sandstone Bridge. I guess if I'm playing 18 lands, I can play a Sandstone Bridge. Don't really care about either of those. Alright. So, this deck's only okay. I think we'll be able to make it work, though. We actually have some decent blockers. I was thinking we'd end up more aggressive, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I do think I'm going to play double Myers Mouse, though. I wish I had more card draw. We just have the Deep Fathom Skulker pretty much, but it's going to have to be enough. So I think we're playing double Holdout Settlement in one island for Dampening Pulse and Skulker. It should be enough, ideally. And what am I cutting? Well, what am I cutting? That is the question. Deep Fathom Skulker's got enough upside where I want to splash for it. Dampening Pulse, I really do think this card's, I think in most cases you probably don't want to splash a Dampening Pulse, but I think this deck needs it. I just don't think this deck has enough oomph to like, I mean, we have like outs for everything in Isolation Zone. Could cut a Tar Snare. I think one is probably enough. What's our final ally count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have 8 allies. I might actually cut the healer for that reason. I think 8 allies is a bit light to hope that healer does anything for us. Even though it is something cheap. I think I'm going to cut it. And then I think we maybe cut a Tar Snare. Could cut the Dampening Pulse, but Dampening Pulse has been good for me, and it's been really good against me. It really does, like, a lot. It tends to do a lot of work, I feel like. I feel like 1 Unnatural Endurance, 1 Tar Snare is probably better than double Tar Snare. Alright. This deck's not particularly good. So, I'm not going to rate it super high. We'll run the bridge. And I guess we'll run 1 island. Why would they want me to run 2 islands? That's silly. This would be, you can count Holdout Settlement only as like a half, really, to be honest. Not much more than that. So we actually have a need for double white. We don't have the need for double black. So I guess 8 white, 7 black should work. This deck's not great. I'm going to only rate it like a D. I think it gets a 65% at best. Maybe even a little bit lower, 62%. So the upsides are... What are the upsides? Upsides are that I think we're going to be able to make our blue spells work. I'm not super concerned about that. And I think there's a lot of power level to Deep Fathom Skulker. And I think these Myers Malices actually look okay in this deck. And Dampening Pulse, I think it can do okay. I think we have some decent blockers. I just feel like we don't have enough bomby threats outside of the Deep Fathom Skulker, and our removal is just not quite good enough to hold off some major threats. So I really can't comfortably give this deck any higher than like a 65%, I think. Maybe even like 62%. So fairly low grade, but definitely running it like this. And should I run? I probably want the shoulder to shoulder over the second Tar Snare just for diversity's sake. Probably. All right, 62% black, white, splash, blue deck. We'll see how we do. We'll see you around 1.